One of the biggest controversial non-political topics that has gotten a lot of media attention in the past few weeks is the issue of tithing. And it doesn't appear to be going anywhere. There are two distinct positions on this subject matter, and one is led by on-air personality Daddy Freeze, who thinks Christians do not need to pay tithe. Now, the other position is led by top and wealthy Nigerian pastors who feel it is very necessary for Christians to pay tithe. My name is Shema Detunji. Today I'm out on the streets to talk to Nigerians to find out what they think about this topic. Is it necessary to pay tithe? I'll be asking some questions, a lot of questions, and I know that this is a very touchy subject and a lot of people might be sensitive about it. But I won't try to nudge anybody in any direction. I'm not supporting any of the two distinct positions on this topic. I'm just asking questions. I'm trying to get people to give me feedback. So let's get into the streets as usual. Talk to Nigerians, find out what they have to say about this topic. Are you a Christian?
I'm a Christian, of course, yes.
All right. What do you think about everything that's going on now concerning this issue of tithing? You know, there are two sides.
Glory be to God in His highest. Tithe is a commandment from God. It entails blessings. Father Abraham did it, and he was blessed. And it's even God, even Jesus Christ, even when he came, he talked about giving tithe, giving free hands to people, help each other, sow a good seed so that you reap a better something from God. And it's good to give out.
Yeah, but some people feel that a lot of pastors are...
You give out. It's not only the pastor you give your title, you give to the orphans, the widows, the widowers, the orphanages, those that are in need of help.
So how do you do that? Do you take part of the 10% and give to the orphans? How do you do that? If you say you can give to both your...
God really bless you, you can do more than 10%. It's not really 10% alone. If you are really blessed, you do more than 10%. Help others, orphanage, visit orphanage homes, visit the orphans, those who are in need of help.
So you think it's compulsory to give your 10% to church?
It's not compulsory. I must give it to the church. It's not compulsory. You can use it to help people. As I've said, that the widowers, the widow, the orphanage, and those that are in need of help. That's what Jesus Christ taught about giving out to people.
So what do you think about pastors that say you have to bring your 10% to church?
Pastors to their Levites. Some people are part-time pastors. Some are full-time pastors. Those that are full in the church, full pastors, they are entitled to tithe too. Because they are working, they are praying in day and night for the sheep. So they don't work, so they need to eat too. And so then you give tithe to them also. They eat and feed their family. They feel comfortable in prayers and everything.
Do you think there's anything wrong with a pastor buying a private jet?
There's nothing wrong in private jet. In those days, Father Abraham, I said, was blessed. King Solomon was blessed. King David was blessed. They go at length. They're giving out, the more blessings coming. Pastor may be blessed. He have business if he even come a full time pastor. If he was blessed, he can buy jets, he can buy whatever. It's God blessings, not by duping or 419 means.
Do you think it's compulsory or necessary that a pastor should buy a private?
No, it's not compulsory. It's not compulsory. A pastor or a shepherd needs that his sheep are comfortably and peaceful in order. See, as a shepherd or as a pastor in the church, you see all the members, you care for their welfare because you are a shepherd. Our pastor, Jesus Christ is our shepherd, he cares for us. So also a pastor in the church to care for the members of the church. You cannot see people hungry in the church, coming to the church, come and pray, and the pastor is riding a jet. No. Or you have to see the general overseers or the website or the church members, they are okay. Not that we use any means or any trick to collect money from the members of the church, feel comfortable only for him alone. No.
What about churches that do like 4 or 5 collections on Sunday? What do you think about those churches?
Those churches where everybody, they don't pick their own doctrine. They don't pick their own policy or they let you to run their own churches. So that's not God's commandment for everybody. They're collecting 5 or 6 collections. No. Though when you go to church, you sow seed. And you are going to be rewarded abundantly. So now that they put money for this, put money for that, put that. It's just their own means of, they use their initiative to collect money, maybe to raise the glory of God in the church or to build the church or whatever their affairs. But compulsorily, you can sow a seed. Not that maybe seeds of different collection in the church. It's not compulsory and not necessary.
All right, thank you very much.
Some people are discouraged when they bring 5 or 6 collection into church. They say, today I will not go to church. That's not what God wants from us. Free sow. If you have, you sow. Look at that woman in the Bible, that widow. This widow is certified. The little he have, he contribute to the church, and God recognize that because that's what he has. But nowadays, you see people, money for this, money for that, it make people run away from the church. So that is it.
Christian or a Muslim?
Christian.
Great. So, what do you think? Tithing. What's your opinion on tithing?
Well, there has been a lot of controversies concerning tithing in recent times, but I am of the strong opinion that it's a biblical injunction and it's meant for the overall maintenance of the church. You know, the church needs so much, a lot of things going to bringing the church together, making it what it is, and helping even the needy, even within the society, the interest spectrum of the church. So I think tithing is good.
Do you think it's possible to say churches are making too much money these days?
Yeah, yeah, some people can argue in that light, and it's justifiably so, because some make this money and it doesn't have it. It doesn't get back. They don't find a way of giving back to the society. Yes, you are right.
Okay. What do you think about churches that own universities that some members cannot afford?
I think it's absolutely ridiculous, because if a church should own such, institution, and you get such money from fundings in the first place, so why make it difficult for the common man on the street to access education in that light? I think it's very, very appalling, to say the least.
Okay, I like your answer. It's very short and straight to the point. What do you think about a pastor owning a private jet? Because that's a very controversial topic right now.
To me, it's not controversial. Jesus rode on a donkey, and in those days, donkey they are not luxury items. It's meant for people who are very, very rich in the society. So it shows that if a pastor is blessed, why not? If I can bless my pastor with a jet, you should take it. It's good.
But I can argue that he rode on a donkey just once. It wasn't like he owned the donkey.
Yeah. To that extent, you are right. But it's also symbolic. If you agree with me, if he can ride on a donkey, that means Jesus Christ knows what is good. He's happy when we make it in life. So if I can bless my pastor with a jet, if I can get my money from a good source, I'm blessed. Why not? It's good.
This is not Bible study, but I still want to pick on this issue of donkey riding. Okay. Can't we liken Jesus Christ riding a donkey into Jerusalem as a first-class ticket, like a one-time first-class ticket, and as opposed to owning the entire private jet, owning the entire donkey, the barn, all that?
I don't know where you are getting at this, but you have a point. But at the same time, like I said, it's a symbolic, notion that is good. I don't want to go into scriptures, but it's a good.
You think there's an adverse effect if an individual doesn't pay, 10% of their income into the church, but gives it to the poor? You think there's an adverse effect?
I don't think there are, so to speak, because I've seen people who don't pay tithe at all, and they are really making it compared to their contemporaries who do. But according to the Bible, there are blessings attached to it. Now, whether you believe it or not is another different thing.
All right, so what's up? Are you a Christian?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Nice. So what do you think about tithing? People paying tithe in church and all that. What do you think?
It's not bad, because I've heard, especially Freeze in particular.
Oh, you're aware, you follow the whole controversy. Great.
It's not, to me, I believe it's not bad. It's in the Bible, actually, that you give 1/10 of your earning. So I believe it's not bad, actually.
So you don't agree with Freeze then?
At all, I don't agree with him. At all.
What do you think about, pastors that own private jets?
Actually, most of them, their members get it for them. When you're a blessing to someone, they tend to be a blessing to you. So probably it's the prayers the pastor have been praying for them, and when the results comes out, they give the pastor the private jet, like thank you, as a gift. So there's nothing there. But depending on, at times most pastors take it. They take it to another level though. Like there was this picture I saw about a pastor who was posing on his private jet. Like it's not. I'm not saying it's bad though, but for the fact that you're a pastor and it's not you that got it by yourself, you have to be low and be humble.
So you're saying pastors shouldn't live an extravagant lifestyle. They should be more modest and things like that.
I don't know. I don't say anything bad though, but I believe that they should be more humble. They should be an example to their members, and so, because if a pastor is coming in with like 4 escorts, 3 escorts, what would the members say? It's not. But I'm in particular about the tithing though. It's not bad.
So you should pay tithing.
Yeah, you should pay your tithes.
Right. Now, if, for instance, now I decide not to pay tithe this month, and I take my 10%, and I just, go and buy some clothes, buy some food for some poor people along the streets, am I still good or I messed up?
You're still good, but the Bible still says you should pay your tithe. So definitely, if you should use your 1/10 to give the poor, you still have more money. You still have more money to pay your tithes too. I'm not against the tithe.
That 10% must enter the church.
Yeah, it's a must. It's a must.
Very good, it's very good.
Very good. Do you think it's compulsory?
It's compulsory.
It's compulsory. So if I take my 10%, for instance, and I buy clothes, buy food for poor people, and I don't take the money to the church, am I still good or am I going to hellfire?
You are not going to hellfire, but it's still good because God will also understand that the poor need the food.
All right, cool. So now if everybody in my church decides to follow me and they say, look, this guy did it, so now every one of us will start using our 10% to buy food and clothes for poor people and we're no more taking it to the church, is that still good?
No, nothing is good.
So what do we do now?
You must pay tithe because...
Wait. So some of us should pay tithe, some of us should give to poor people or what?
And the thing is that when you have your salary, when you earn your salary, you must remove your 10% because it's compulsory. If you remove your 10%, then you use the remaining one to maybe some to buy food for people, for the poor. But your tithe is compulsory because it's in the Bible for growth.
What happens if you don't pay that 10%? What happens?
You don't experience fast growth. Yeah.
Your growth to be slow.
Yeah, for me, it should be slow. Your blessing will be coming slow. But if you pay tithes, you can just go outside like this and you meet somebody unexpectedly. Then the person will give you what you did not think. Maybe if you're looking for something and you've been praying for God for that thing and you pay tithes, suddenly the person will just come.
Are you saying anybody who doesn't pay tithes cannot experience fast growth?
I can't say. But for me, it's good to pay tithes. That is also what I know.
Does your church pastor own a private jet?
Private jet? Yeah, Pastor Chris. I don't think so.
Do you have anything against the pastor owning a private jet?
I have a pastor, I don't.
You don't need to say the pastor. Do you have anything against it? Do you think it's not right or do you think it's fine?
It's good for a pastor to own the private jet. It's good.
Should the church members be able to go on the private jet?
For the church members, no.
They shouldn't be able to go on their pastor's private jet?
Because he's an individual. So they should give their pastor respect that he deserves it because I've been working for it since the foundation of his life. He has been working for it. So if you like me, if I have my own private jet, it's good for mail loans.
Bros, kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀? So tithes, ìdámẹ́wàá, kí lẹ́yìn fi ṣe fi pé ó yẹ káwọn èèyàn máa san sí church gangan?
Nítòótọ́ ìdámẹ́wàá.
Ẹ sọ pidgin, talk pidgin. So if you say maybe people they pay tithe for church.
You know one thing is that the tax they're supposed to pay after that thing they must put the money for church to do anything will be said they want to use for inside church. They must use the money to do it.
You know, see some people feel say now some pastors now then they chop that money, say they use them for God work. Say that some pastors they chop and they use them buy private jets. What do you feel?
You know what is that there no all the pastors that are using the money to chop. Some of them that all the money where they are they are using the money to do everything, whatever to the church.
You go church?
Yeah.
You pay your tithe?
I pay.
Steady?
Yeah, exactly.
Some people feel say, instead may you go pay that money for church. So if you take that 10% of your money, if you go give poor person, all these poor people, may you buy clothes for poor people. What do you feel about that one?
The one way I feel about is that out of the money where I get is that I will use, out of 10%, I will use 7% to my God, where I'm pray with. The many one, I will use many one to give the person when I know that they never get. That's the only thing.
So if the pastor for your church, if he buy private jet now, let's say this Sunday where they come, your pastor come and now saying don't buy private jet, what do you go do?
Because if my pastor we bought jets, I was happy because I didn't know the kind. Maybe now one of our member or one person buy for him. That's it.
You go like me, pastor allow you climb the private jet?
Why not?
But if you're not gonna allow you, so are you a Christian or a Muslim?
I'm a Christian.
Great. Do you pay tithe?
Yes.
I'm asking about tithing. What do you think about tithing? You think it's compulsory for a Christian to pay tithe or not?
It's compulsory for a Christian to pay tithe because God's commandments. Why is it commandments? In Bible, Malachi 3:10 especially stated about it. And by the time you do this, there's open doors, there are blessings attached to it. In as much as God's commandment, it ought to be obeyed to the last letter. Actually, when you go through the Bible, Abraham did it, and he saw the blessing. So I advise every Christian who is a truly Christian to be on that same commandment of God. It ought to be.
Some people are of the opinion that if you take that 10% of your income and use it to buy maybe clothes and food for poor people, as opposed to taking it to the church, then you're also paying your tithe. What do you think about that?
I don't think it's true. It's not. You are not supposed to take care of less privilege by the tithe you ought to bring in the house of God. Remember, the Bible said, when you bring it in the house of God, that you brought meat in his house. So that is God's commandment. So even as done that, you also to, look at the less privileged around you. Anything you can afford, you give to them. But this is a God's commandment. Bring it in the house of God as stated in the Bible. That is it.
What do you think about some church pastors who own private jets? Do you think it's a bad thing for a church pastor to own a private jet, or it's no big deal? It's just God's blessings?
Actually, I'm a clergyman, and I don't subscribe to that because I always ask God one thing, that bless me like other men of God. There are a lot of needs in our society to be met, not buying jets. Buying jet is not actually good believers, good preachers of the gospel supposed to do. Because personally, I have that kind of opinion that if God bless me like them, prostitutes should be eradicated. Because building mansions, riding jets, you're supposed to build hostels, give them, support them in careers other than buy this private jet. I don't appreciate that.
What about also owning, some churches own universities that a lot of their members cannot attend? What do you think about that? You think it's...
Thank you very much. Because sometimes ago I discussed with some people, I said, there are, like one of the book I'm writing, I said some church pastors, GOs, they own private universities. Why during their starting up, the members contributed in building such institutions. But at the end of the day, some of them will not be privileged to have their children in this institution, which is very wrong. Because if I'm in their category, I'm not saying owning a university is wrong, but by the time you own that university, make sure the less privileged, tomato sellers, orange hawkers, pure waters, make sure that their children are the one accommodated in such universities, and it's doing well.
But then there are some people that think that if that's the case, then how do you get money to run the institution?
That means they are going outside the God's commandments. Because you are meant to help the less privileged in that church. So if you are saying that by the time you bring it down to these people, you are not really doing what God asked you to do. Because I believe one thing in me, that church should be the last hope of a common man.
Thank you very much, sir. Church should be the last hope of the common man, guys. You've heard it straight from the streets. Nigerians have voiced their opinions. Let us know what you also think about this topic in the comments below. Sir, you want to talk to me? We're talking about tithing. Tithing. What do you think? Do you think it's necessary or compulsory for a Christian to pay tithe?
It is scriptural.
It's necessary.
In the Bible.
All right.
So the word of God is complete.
So if as a believer I take my money and I buy things for, my 10% and I decide to buy food and drinks for the poor as opposed to taking it to the church, am I doing something wrong?
That is not what the Bible said. When you want to do the act of giving, you can go ahead and give. The Bible says give in Matthew chapter 6, verses 38. It says give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaking together, running over. Shall men give unto your bosom. So a giver does not lack. When you want to do good to the church, you do good. But your tithe, you should pay it as 10%. So any other thing you are doing, you are not obeying the scripture.
Thank you very much. A very interesting interruption to my outro there. Another opinion right here, original from the streets, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't done that. Like our Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, please share your opinion in the comments below. Goodbye.